I'm going to go over number 20, and I'm going to go ahead and do all of it right now. In problem 211, you had determined that because an isosceles triangle has reflection symmetry, then it must have two angles that have equal measure. So in part A, how can you tell which angles have equal measure? Well, if we draw in that line of symmetry down that triangle because of these congruent sides, then we can see that these two angles must also be congruent to each other. So for example, in the diagram at the right, which angles must have equal measure? Name the angles and explain how you know. So I can say angle C is equal to the measure of angle B. I know because reflection symmetry the angles must be equal. Because they must lie right on top of each other. Alright, so now for part B. Examine the diagram for part A. If you know that angle B and angle C is 124, then what is the measure of angle B? Explain how you know. Okay, well, we just talked about how angle B and angle C are equal to each other. So let's go ahead and write I'm going to rewrite that equation. So if the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C is equal to 124, didn't we just say that the measure of angle C is equal to the measure of angle B up here? So if they're equal to one another, couldn't we use substitution to say that the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle B equals 124? So because up here we said that angle C and angle B were equal to each other, now what I can do is I can just use substitution here to come up with this new equation. And so now what I have is I have two measures of angle B. I'm going to put this in parentheses so you can see that we've got two of them. And that should equal 124. So if I decide to solve for the measure of angle B, I can divide by 2 to get each side by itself to find that the measure of angle B must be 62 degrees. So now, so then that means this is 62 and then this is 62 as well. And so I know, because I know that angle B and angle C are equal, so if we divide 124 in half, we should get 62 degrees. C, use this idea to find the value of x in the diagram at the right. Be sure to show your work. I'm going to go ahead and switch colors again one more time. So the idea here is whenever you have a triangle, an isosceles triangle, the base angles are always going to be equal to one another. So if this angle on the left is 71, then that means that this angle on the right is also going to be 71 degrees. Now what we can do is use what we know about two angles that form a straight angle. So since these two angles form a straight angle, they should measure 180. So now what I can do is say, okay, well, 71 plus x should add up to 180 because together they form this straight line. And now I can subtract 71 from both sides to find the value of x. So I would borrow from that 8, 9, 0. So I should get 109 degrees is the measure of angle x. I hope that helped with that problem.